Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kim. Today I'm doing the announcement for round 3 of the Book Club. Hey, so I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, welcome. So today I'm really excited about this round of the Book Club to announce because it is going to be based all on space, which is pretty exciting. If you don't know what the Book Club is, it's basically where we take the time to read one book by an expert in a particular subject area and then another book by somebody who has experience in that kind of subject area in some kind of way. And what I'm kind of realising is actually there's like a very fine line between people who have experienced something and people who are an expert in something, like someone who's only academically studied something, because inevitably the person with the experience is kind of an expert as well in a lot of cases. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of the idea of the book club, and like I said, we spend 3 months reading around particular subjects. So last 3 months we read about sleep, and the first round that we did was about the environment. So anyway, yeah, so this round is all about space. I'm really excited about it. So with our expert book, we've decided to go with The Planet Factory by Elizabeth Tasker. So this book was published in 2017 and it basically explains everything about exoplanets that astrophysicists know about today. So an exoplanet is a planet that revolves around another star that isn't our sun. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I don't know if the book will go into any particular detail about how they find these planets, which I think is really interesting. I do know some of the ways that they use to like find these planets around other stars, and in some cases it's a lot simpler than you would imagine. I don't know if the book discusses that kind of science or not, but what it does discuss is kind of how planets form around other stars and what types of kind of planetary systems that there are out there, and then the types of different planets that they're found and stuff like that. And I think the kind of whole subject area of exoplanets is really interesting, and it's such a very like kind of now field, like there's a lot going into it at the moment to find these other planets and to essentially try and find Earth 2.0, because you know we're destroying this planet, so have to look for somewhere else to live maybe in the future. Although these places are very far away, so I don't know how far we're going to get with this. You never know. Elizabeth Tasker is a British astrophysicist. I'm just going to read just in case I get it wrong, is an associate professor at the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and her current work kind of involves using simulations to kind of, I guess, work out how these planetary systems form around other stars. So yeah, she wrote a book about it, about what her kind of interest is and her research interest is, and I just really looking forward to reading it and finding out a little bit more about exoplanets. And so for our experience part of this, we've decided to read an autobiography that was written by Katherine Johnson, who is an African, or who was, sorry, an African-American mathematician. She sadly passed away last year actually at the age of 101. So it's pretty good innings, and she did amazing things. So she was kind of like a whiz, like a childhood whiz at maths. What she ended up doing was becoming like a computer. So before computers they had people who actually did all the maths by hand, obviously. And what Katherine Johnson ended up doing as a job was calculating the flight paths of NASA space missions. So I believe she calculated the flight path for the first American to go into space. Yeah, I think I got that right. I actually watched a little kind of short video about Katherine Johnson, so I'll link it down below if you just wanted to kind of have a little look kind of more about her life. It's a short video. It's on a channel called Black History in 2 minutes, and it just, yeah, gives you like some more information about her. After they started using computers to make these calculations, they used Katherine Johnson's kind of mathematics to check the computers, and I think in the video I just mentioned one of the pilots or astronauts on one of the future missions didn't trust the computer and wouldn't fly until Katherine Johnson had checked the maths. I think that's what they said. Yeah, which just shows you like how amazing her mind is. That, I mean, I guess things, when new technology comes, a lot of people don't trust it anyway, but she was just so accurate that, you know, these people put their lives in her hand. And that's just amazing, basically. So this autobiography is actually written for children, so I'm really interested to see like how Katherine Johnson chose to write the book about her life. I think it's really good that she did decide to do that for kids, because her story just sounds so inspiring, and she was able to do just such an amazing job. especially at a time where there was so many barriers put up for her. So I think writing this kind of inspiring story for kids who are like still at school and still learning about maths and maybe hating it, like I hated maths for a long time at school until it flipped and then I started loving maths. But yeah, I just think it must be like a really inspiring book to read. And I'm just interested to see like how it's written, because I read a lot of memoirs and biographies that are written for adults. So I wonder like if there's much less of the personal side of her life and just way more about the mathematics or stuff. Anyway, I have no idea. The book was actually published in 2019, so it was published a year before she passed away. And I'm just really interested to hear her story from her own point of view. I don't know if you guys have heard of it as well, but her story has kind of already been told. I think it was a book and then it was turned into a film, and it was called Hidden Figures. And it came out, I can't remember, it was a few years ago, maybe 2016, 2017 or something. And I watched it at the cinema and I really, really liked it, but I can't really remember it very well, so I think I need a rewatch. But that film was about Katherine Johnson and also some of her colleagues who all worked as computers during like the space age kind of missions and everything. And yeah, it was really good, so I recommend that. Even though I can't remember it, I remember really liking it. So those are the two books that Hannah and I are going to be reading for the X Book Club. So I haven't actually mentioned Hannah yet, which is really bad. Hannah is my like co-host for the book club, and I'll link her channel down below. She's really awesome for you to check out. And yeah, basically what happens is at the end of the 3 months that we have a live discussion about the two books on either one of our channels. We just did the space one and I listened to it back and my mic sounds really bad on it. So I think over this next period of time I'm going to make sure I have a better mic, so it's actually more listenable. But if you wanted to, did I say space? I meant sleep. The sleep one we did. But anyway, yeah, I'll link that down below if you wanted to check out the last live discussion we did. I think what's nice about reading two books around the same subject area together is that there, so far at least in the last two rounds, there has been like crossovers with some like subject matter, even if things aren't actually directly related. And it just kind of, I don't know, it gives you like a nice perspective of both sides of a story kind of thing, or like makes you think about things slightly differently because you've read about one thing and then you read the second book and you've already got that other perspective in your head, and I really like that. So yeah, anyway, hopefully I've inspired some of you to join us in reading these two books. That's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Take care guys, bye.